I'm out for a quick ride this morning, just trying to get in a few miles before some rain moves in later this afternoon. And I thought I'd tell you a little story about that time I crashed and bled all over myself. This all happened before I got the YouTube channel. I was at a training seminar for work, and I was in Torrence, California. And that's just a little bit below Los Angeles. On Friday, the last day of the seminar, they let out at noon. So as soon as they let out, I changed. I had to walk down to the bike rental place because I didn't have a car, and this was also before Uber, so this was a while ago. Anyway, it was about a mile or so down to the Pacific Ocean, and then I had to walk along the, I don't know what they call it, the boardwalk or promenade for, I don't know, maybe about half a mile to a mile to get to the bike rental place. So I got the bike, and they offered to rent me out a helmet as well. And I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. Maybe I was just worried about putting on a helmet that, somebody else had worn, or I don't know what. But I opted not to get the helmet because I thought, I haven't crashed on a bicycle in years, and I'm on a bike path, so there's even less chance of me crashing. So why get a helmet? You can see where this is going, don't you? I'm on the bike path, and I'm just absolutely loving it. You got the ocean, you got the beach and all the waves. There's souvenir places all over the place. There's even a place where you can get hang gliding lessons, which I thought would just be absolutely cool. And at this time of day, there's a few people out, not too many. So I'm going kind of slow, weaving in and out of the pedestrians. And again, there's not too many of them out at this time. I don't know, it's like early May at this time. So it's still maybe just a little cool, even by California standards. So going kind of slow. But as soon as I get onto the main bike path, I speed up a little bit. And I'm wearing a baseball cap. And as I speed up, it's more wind, got wind from the ocean, and the wind is wanting to take my hat off. So I reach up, grab hold of the bill to turn the hat around backwards, and I don't know what happened, but bam! I crashed. Not even a little wobble, not a warning, nothing, just face planted into the trail. And when I say I face planted, I mean it. I went like boom, right on the pavement. And the first thing I thought when I got up was, my front teeth, they're just gone. They're gone. They're scattered all over the pavement, and they're gone. And so when I got up, I was really relieved. I ran my tongue over my teeth. They were all still there. I even grabbed onto them and tried to wiggle them. They were all nice and tight, and so I was just relieved because I'd never been hit that hard in my mouth ever. But I was bleeding. I got a cut like right here, and it was bleeding more than what a normal cut would. I was bleeding quite a bit, so much so that kind of gross maybe, but I was dripping, and I had to do one of these numbers. It's kind of wiping it on the shoulder to try and get the blood off. And of course, I had a nice white T-shirt on, so that blood on my shoulder showed up really well. And I kept doing that, and eventually it got to the point where the shoulder was just covered in blood, and it was just saturated. And so I grabbed the front of my shirt and lifted it up and was starting to rub the blood off on it. And I kept doing that, and and all this time, I'm riding. I got back on the bike. Bike was fine. So I got back on and I kept riding, and I kept thinking, well, you know, the blood's eventually going to stop. Well, it didn't stop immediately. And, you know, I eventually got to a point where it's like, okay, I need to turn around because, you know, maybe I need some medical attention. You know, at the very least, I need to wash my face and, you know, put some antibiotic ointment on. So I turn around and I get back to the main area there. And, you know, by this time, you know, maybe about an hour or so has passed since I came through there last. And there's a whole lot more people out now than there was before. And so I get off the bike because now I can't, you know, pedal through all that. I get off the bike and I'm walking, and everybody's pretty much fine with, you know, me and, you know, what's going on. You know, it's interesting how people come up with stories about what's happened without any real evidence of what's happened. You know, they see me, you know, with blood on my shirt, on my shoulder, and on my stomach, and they see me walking the bike, and they're like, oh, he crashed and injured himself, and, you know, now he's just walking the bike. No worries. And I even had a few nice people, you know, come up to me and say, hey, do you need any help? And I'm like, no, I'm kind of busted up, but basically I'm okay. I get back to the bicycle shop, and they're really nice. They see me, and they're immediately like, are you okay? What happened? I tell them I crashed. They want to know if the bike caused the crash, which is really nice. They didn't say, you know, you're an idiot, you crashed our bike. They wanted to know if the bike caused the crash. And I'm like, nah, I was just being, I don't know, I was being stupid and something happened and, you know, I just crashed. So they had some ointment. They let me use their bathroom. I got all cleaned up, but I still got the bloody shirt, obviously. But at least I'm not bleeding anymore by this point in time. And so, you know, I've still got to walk, you know, about 1.5 miles to 2 miles back to my hotel. And I'm thinking, well, this is no big deal. Adventure over, because now all I'm going to do is walk. What's going to happen? And, you know, I figured I had to walk here with the bike to get to the bicycle shop. You know, it's going to be the same walking out of here. But only now, I don't have the bicycle with me. And so a key element in a lot of people's minds is missing from their story. Because now, I'm just some guy walking along the promenade covered in blood. The story's a whole lot different now. Got a new snack today. I got Smucker's Uncrustables peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich. This came highly recommended from Billy Bikes. Yeah, this is really good. This is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is just like a sandwich that you would make at home. Really good. Thanks for the recommendation, Billy. I'm walking along the promenade or the boardwalk area, and it's immediately obvious that the crowd's attitude towards me has changed. I mean, in a dramatic way. There's hundreds of people out and about at this point in time, and you know, I'm walking, and they are parting in front of me like the Red Sea. I mean, I've never had that kind of reaction towards me ever. I mean, I could literally stretch my arms out to either side and not touch a single person. And you know, there are parents that are grabbing onto their kids and pulling them to the other side so that, you know, the parent is in between the kid and me. And I feel for them. You know, I do the same thing too. I'm not judging them or anything, but you know, I feel for them. And what's really interesting about all this is that while they obviously see me, you know, because they're moving out of my way, nobody's looking directly at me. I mean, their eyes are just, straight ahead. They're not looking at anything else. They're straight ahead, It's like, keep the crazy guy in your peripheral vision, but don't actually look at him in case he does something crazy. And throughout all this, after I left the bike shop, not a single person came up to me and asked me if I was okay and needed help. They didn't care anymore. And so, I continue walking, and, I go by a group of people that are a little bit on the rougher side. If I had seen them out and about, I'd probably give them a fair amount of distance. I go past them, they start hooting and hollering and cheering, clapping, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, looking really good." And I'm just like, oh my gosh. At this point in time, I'm just wanting to crawl into a hole and escape all of this attention. Now there are t-shirt shops everywhere along this area, and so I decide the next t-shirt shop I find, I'm going to duck in there, get a new shirt. Maybe that'll calm things down a little bit. Because at this point, I'm worried about people calling the police on me, and while I can explain the situation, I don't really want to. Like I said, I just want to make this all go away. So I come across a t-shirt shop, I duck in there. There's like 2 or 3 people in there. They see me, they bolt. I mean, they just turn around, eyes straight ahead, and walk out. Hopefully they were already done shopping. So I start looking around at the t-shirts, and the lady that is running the shop, she comes right up to me, and she is deep in my personal space. I mean, she is like right beside me, like literally, like almost touching. And, it's a little unnerving, but fortunately, she doesn't say a word to me. And so, I start looking through all the t-shirts in the shop, and she is just right there with me, right beside me. And I get it. She doesn't want any of my DNA on her merchandise. That's fine. Anyway, I'm looking through the shop, and the shirts in there, they just weren't really to my taste. There were a lot of shirts that I would laugh at if somebody else were wearing them, but I wouldn't wear them. And there are some shirts that are just outright vulgar. So I eventually settle on a t-shirt, and I forget what the caption of the shirt was, but it was a skeleton pirate sitting on a toilet smoking a joint. And that was about the least offensive shirt that I could find in there. So I bought it. Once I bought the shirt, the lady finally actually spoke to me, and she said, "Thanks, have a nice day." And by her tone and her look, what she really meant was leave. But like I said, I wasn't going back out in public wearing that bloody t-shirt. So right there in the store, I changed out of one shirt into another, and I put my bloody t-shirt into the bag that I just got. And then I braced myself to go back out into public. And fortunately, once I went out there, everything had turned back to normal. No more Red Sea of people. No more people pretending I don't really exist, but actually seeing me. And I would just get the occasional look at my face, and people be like, "Ooh, wonder how that happened." But anyway, I took that. I should have saved that t-shirt that I bought there, but I really only wore it for the walk home, and then I think I gave it away to Goodwill. I should have kept that. That would have been a really cool memory. Hope you enjoy the video. Hell, and wear a helmet, because if I had worn a helmet, you wouldn't have heard this story.